What's up, Houdat Nation? It's Chris Vogel from the Straight Up Saints podcast, presented by Boo Crew Media and Maker's Mark. The New Orleans Saints just got their backup quarterback for the 2022 season. It's Andy Dalton. According to Adam Schefter, it's a one-year deal worth up to $6 million. That includes $3 million in guarantees. And I think this move, at some level, does make a lot of sense. When you have Taysom Hill moving to tight end, you're going to need to have another quarterback slotted into that depth chart. Andy Dalton at this stage in his career is really nothing more than a backup, but he's towards the, I'd say, upper half of backup quarterback options because it's a guy who's been around the league several years with the Bengals, a year with the Cowboys, a year with the Bears. He's been around the block. He obviously knows what it takes to start. So, God forbid you're in a situation where he does need to start a couple of games. You at least know what you're getting in a guy like him. It is worth noting, though, that I'm going to pull this up real quick and read it because if it's true, then obviously that's not a great sign. Apparently, because of the deal, it might be enough to qualify Andy Dalton in that comp pick formula. So if the Saints end up not getting a comp pick and losing out on getting one for Armstead because of this deal, in the long run, that could end up being a foolish move. But for let's just say the present right now, I'm okay with it. Like, you know who Andy Dalton is. He did struggle last season with the Bears, only completed 63%, had 8 touchdowns, 9 picks. Wasn't a great year. Obviously, the Bears offense was an utter mess. Even when Justin Fields was in there, it wasn't great. So maybe you want to give him a pass and look at his Dallas numbers, which were much more middle of the road type quarterback. And maybe that's okay for a backup. And I think people will be fine with Andy Dalton. I know people are going to send out the red rifle tweets and all that. So overall, you should be fine with the deal. Really shouldn't make or break your Tuesday afternoon. I will say that there are underlying messages in moves like this. And the one underlying message I'll say is that I do not believe the Saints are confident in Ian Book even becoming a backup quarterback because when Andy Dalton, who is, 34 years old, going to turn 35 in October, is towards the down slope of his career, if Ian Book can't beat him out, then we know all we need to know about Ian Book just being a backup quarterback. Forget about being a starting quarterback. And for the Saints to bring in Andy Dalton, I don't think you bring in Andy Dalton if you're sure that Ian Book can replace Trevor Siemian as the backup. And again, I'm not asking for an awful lot. I'm saying, can you replace Trevor Siemian? Can you be better than Andy Dalton at 35 years old on the downslope of his career? It seems like the answer to that as of now kind of seems like they're hinting at no. I think teams kind of tell you what they think about players with moves like this. Time will tell. Ian Book's going to get a shot to win the backup job this offseason and at least show some improvement. And if he does, he'll probably stick on the roster. But as of right now, I just don't think it's looking good in that department. And my other question, and this is still kind of out there, I don't think we're going to get an answer to this anytime soon. And by anytime soon, I mean the next couple of weeks. We'd have to wait at least a month. Are the Saints done in the quarterback business now? Does that mean that they're cool going into this next season with Winston, Dalton, and Book? Or is maybe Book out of the equation and the Saints are wondering, hey, if there's a rookie quarterback we like, we might take, knowing that we got 2 reliable vets in Dalton and Winston on the roster. But as of now, it's very clear and very obvious. Jameis the starter, Andy Dalton the backup, Ian Book technically QB3, and Taysom Hill moving to tight end. I'll talk about Taysom Hill in a podcast that'll release later this week and what I feel about that move and why I actually think there is some positives to a move of that sort. But again, Saints get a traditional backup in Andy Dalton. That's what he is at this stage in his career. No problem with that. Hopefully it doesn't affect the comp pick formula, because if it does, that's just an oversight that shouldn't happen. And then we'll see what happens with Ian Book, although I don't think it looks too good right now. But I'm curious to know what you guys think about this signing. Let me know in the comments below. I'll get back to you. I'm imagine you guys are okay with this move. I'm sure am at this point. Andy Dalton's a fine backup. I would actually say he is an upgrade over Trevor Siemian. Whether or not he's an upgrade over what Taysom Hill can do as a backup, I don't really care. Taysom Hill, you rather have him in a do-it-all role than just keep him on the sidelines, just sitting there. And I think that's why that move was made as well. So I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say. Let me know in the comments below. If the Saints make more moves today, I'll be back here for another video. So keep it plugged in on the Boo Crew Media YouTube page and also the Straight Up Saints podcast, the destination for